Welcome to tonight's video on Unit 12, Part 3, talking about volumes of prisms and cylinders. So the volume of a prism, or the volume of any object, is how much you can put inside the object. And to figure that out, you have to take the area of the base and multiply it by the height, and that'll give you the volume of a prism. For the volume of a cylinder, it's the same formula, except you now know that the circle is the base, so that's why it's just pi r squared times h. So to find the volume here, we're going to take the area of the base times the height. Well, the area of the base is pi r squared times the height, and so we get pi times 8 squared times 5. And when you multiply that out, you get 1005.3 cubic centimeters, because you're multiplying three things for volume, so that's why it's cubic centimeters. So to find the volume of this prism here, triangular prism, we have to find the area of the base times the height. Well, the area of the base is a triangle. It's 1/2 10 times 12 times 25, which is the height of the prism. So when you multiply that out, you get 1,500 cubic centimeters. All right, for the next one, number 29, so you got to find the volume is area of the base times the height. So the first thing you want to do is find this A here. And you can do, because this is 30, so you can do the Pythagorean Theorem. So 18 squared plus A squared equals 30 squared. And when you do the Pythagorean Theorem, you get A is equal to 24. And so the area of the base is 1/2 18 times 24, and then the height of the prism is 15. And when you multiply that out, you get 3,240 cubic inches. All right, so the number 30, the volume is the area of the base times the height. So it's equal to pi times 1.8 squared times the height, which is also 1.8. And when you multiply that out, you get 18.3 cubic centimeters. So the next principle is even Cavallarius principle just says that if it's a prism, even if it's a tilted prism or straight up and down prism, that you're just going to find the volume by going base times height. It doesn't matter that it's tilted or not. It can still hold the same amount of volume. So for 31, volume is area of the base times height. So if you notice that the radius is 15, so it's pi r squared times the height, which is 25. And when you multiply that out, you get 17,671.3 cubic feet. All right, so here, same thing, the area of the base times the height, so it's pi times 11 squared times the height, which is 44. And when you multiply that out, you get 16,725.8 cubic centimeters. All right, so number 33 says the three prisms below have the same width and height but different lengths. If the volume of the larger prism is 128 cubic inches greater than the volume of the smaller prism, what is the length of each prism? So to find the volume of the larger one, we go 4 times x times 9. And to find the volume of the smaller one, we go 4 times x times 5. But then we have to add 128 because the smaller one is 128 less. So then when we multiply, we get 36x equals 20x plus 128. Subtract 20x, and you get 16x equals 128. And x is equal to 8 inches. So the length of each prism is 8 inches. All right, so same thing here, except the volume of the larger prism is now 192 greater. So this larger one is 6 times x times 11. Whereas the smaller one is 6 times x times 7, but then it's plus 192. So you get 66x equals 42x plus 192. Subtract 42x. And divide by 24, and you get that x is once again 8 inches. All right, so now some practice problems here. So it wants you to find the volume of this cylinder. And remember, so it's the area of the base times the height. So it's pi times 5 squared times 10. And when you multiply that out, you get 785.4 cubic centimeters. Here, it's the area of the base times the height. It's a triangular prism. The one thing we do need to find, because this is 5 and this is 12, actually we don't need to find the hypotenuse to find the area of the base. So it's 1/2 5 times 12, and then the height of the prism is 4. And when you multiply that out, you get 120 cubic inches. All right, so here for 37, we don't know the height of the cylinder, but we can find it by finding this length. It will be the same, so we have to do the Pythagorean Theorem. So we'll call that x. So 12 squared plus x squared equals 15 squared. And then when you do the Pythagorean theorem, you'll get that x equals 9. So now the volume is pi times 12, actually 6 squared, because the radius would be 6, times 9. And when you multiply that out, you get 1,107.9 cubic meters. Here, so the base is a rectangle, so the volume is area of the base times height, so it's 6.2 times 7.3, and the height of the prism is 4.5. So when you multiply that out, you get 203.7 cubic feet. Find the volume of a rectangular prism with length 12 yards, width 14, and height 9. So you multiply 12 times 14 times 9, and you get 1,512 cubic yards. Here it says the volume of a triangular prism is 655 cubic feet. The height of the prism is 5 feet. Find the area of the base. So remember, volume is area of the base times height. So 655 is equal to 5 times the area of the base. So just divide by 5, and you get that the area of the base is 131, which means it's 131 square feet, because remember, area is square feet. All right. So that concludes our video for part 3. Part 4 coming up soon.